Yeah. I just wanted to reiterate that whole point of the driver's license photo ID. Yeah. Unless you can make a positive identification of a party to any court motion, yes, there's a good probability that this handwriting is not my spouse's handwriting. Yes. And this 10 feet tall, yeah, it seems like a minor point, but it's enough for most attorneys to sue. It is not true and correct that I'm 10 feet tall. Now, the actual protection order says that I didn't receive actual notice of the hearing. Yes. And I wasn't given an opportunity to be heard because the state said that if I'm mentally ill, they can't trust what I have to say as a father. The problem is they can't issue it without positive identification. See this concept of protecting the women and children because you militarize the government? Yes. Is that you're doing things in the name of, well, just causes. Yes. It's good to protect women and children, isn't it? Yeah. But when we have soldiers that call themselves judges, sheriffs, and police officers that are militant, you're actually another military. Now, I informed you that it violated my civil rights. I told you about the forgeries. Yes. I told you I wasn't given notice and opportunity to be heard. I told you that it was against the law to violate the laws of this state. Yes. The United States, known as federal legislation. Yeah. And then there are all those that gave up their rights and powers to be in the jurisdiction of the military. Congratulations, soldier. Now, when you arrested me, yes, I actually documented that there was evidence that I wasn't in Sequim, Washington, but you wouldn't admit that. And I was in this library on December 31st of 2015 at 4:48 p.m. I had the evidence of that, but you wouldn't admit the evidence because of your militant belief that you have the right to enforce any person that you dislike. Now, I don't know the full depth, right, of the jurisdiction of the United States military. But what if it was terrorizing me and my family because of a military that doesn't want to give up the concept of the senior payroll system? Yes, where you're the oldest senior, right? You came all the money, and you can pay as many soldiers as you want. Oops, I'm sorry. These individuals that you call the family that happen to be your foot soldiers, yes, where you said the muscle is really a military. Oh, now I've seen the muscle out there, and I've seen a few of those that tried to muscle me, and my thought was, well, it's different being a terrorist than an actual soldier in the military of the payroll. Now, this concept that if I don't have any money, yes, I can't be in your military. Oh, I can't give any commands to anybody because I can't pay the soldiers. Yes. I can't be a government under myself. Oh, oh, oh. See, there could be some liability, yes, in not requiring a photo identification and a signature of a court order. Now, you might say it's because you're protecting my sons from myself. Yes. But I would say that your military approach is militant. But it's different. I'm the one that's received the terrorism. Yeah. I'm the one that you've terrorized, and you've refused to acknowledge the requirement of proof of identity. Yes. Now, you may submit when motioning the court such as the following containing your signature and a photograph. No signature on the court order means no positive identification of the actual identity of the petitioner. Now, how you can arrest me for the allegation of violating a protection order where I told you she didn't sign it? Yes. There was no way that you could prove that it was actually her that motioned the court? Yes. So your militant way of looking at life, yes, happens to violate all contractual obligations. That is a good likeness of you, previous or current U.S. passport, previous or current U.S. passport card. Yes. driver's license, not temporary or learners. Yes. Certificate of naturalization, certificate of citizenship, military identification. Now, when you go through the military's ID, yes, congratulations, soldier. They take a picture of you. They give you a photo ID. Yeah. So you can go on and off the various jurisdictions of the United States military. Yes, yes, yes. Now, you didn't give up your citizenship. You decided that you would enlist. Yeah. And you'd give up certain rights and powers that you have as a citizen. Any individual that makes war against the United States, that is not terrorist, but their tactics are terrorism. Ooh, looks like we got a military in Clallam County that calls themselves the police department. Now, Deputy Fish, Sheriff Know-It-All, militant pastors, and all of those that are in the way. Issuing a court order where there's no penalty of perjury and there's no positive identification of the actual petitioner because there's no signature of the petitioner is militant. Yes. You decided to be the government. Oh, now I've heard that explained that I don't understand the way things are. And I thought, well, I I understand the way that you think. You think that only those in the family that can pay for law enforcement or an attorney or their rights to be enforced, only those individuals in your military, right, can actually get the court to do anything. But I was born as a citizen of the United States and I've sent you over 2 million emails. And the truth of the matter is, when you didn't protect my right to due process because of your bullshit belief that I'm crazy for not wanting to be in your military, yes. And I didn't want to come to find out. I didn't want to participate in not just the terrorism of having a military. It's the whole I'm in the military of the way. Now, you've said, well, they will never do anything. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Coast Guard, the Surgeon General of the United States will never, ever, ever enforce the actual requirements of law. And since, well, the National Guard has their own individual problems, we don't have to involve them today. And since the Army, yeah, don't enlist today. Take the day off, go shopping with your parents. Just give them a break. They're tired of signing up people to join the United States military. And if you're in the Navy, what did I do? I talked to you about this, didn't I? Yes, you did. Now, it's not me filing lawsuits that I've already documented against the Department of Defense. Pooch. It's not the citizens of the United States that can't sue my wife for not actually appearing in court or acknowledging receipt of a copy of the order. It's this whole concept of the militant government employees, yes, known as the court commissioner, yes, the executive branch, chill, the legislature, each and every city of the state of Washington, counties, Lewis. It's that they themselves have agreed that we're going to have a militant government where we don't have to enforce the actual rights and the power of the citizens. Now, I know they thought they didn't give anything up when they agreed to do this because it was by agreement, wasn't it? You decided as sheriffs of every fucking county of the state of Washington that you would never hold each other accountable because you're all militarized. Ooh. Now, I mentioned those powers and rights that I have as a citizen. Yes. Where I informed you that I wasn't in Brennan, Washington, and I sent emails on June 16th of 2017. But nobody in the police department would actually tell them I wasn't there. And then there's that 2 million emails that I've been sending where no one would tell the prosecuting attorney. Actually, it's not cyber stalking. He never contacted anybody in the Brennan or Quilcene school districts. And you're going to continue with this prosecution of myself as a citizen, right? The two count cyber stalking and violation of the no contact on or about June 16th? Yes. Where I demanded as a citizen of the United States for you to remove your fraud from the judicial system of the United States. But you said, no, we're going to continue with our military. Yes, we're going to militarize. Oh, General. Exactly how did you decide your infrastructure, your rank? Yes, yes, yes. The oldest of you is the. Well, of course you're terrorizing me. You remove the power of every citizen and every state of the United States. And then you didn't require the actual obligation of identifying individuals that motion courts. Yes. And your family has said, well, we are the way. We're the new military of the United States of America. It's worse than terrorism. I'm the recipient of your terrorism. The United States military has to handle, yes, this concept of your way of how things are. Now, I know they would say, well, once you join the military, you give up certain rights and powers. Why don't you give me those pictures of every passport issued for every individual in the military? And then give me the pictures of all of those that had military issued identification. I'm looking for any differences because somebody said I had to accept the dog that you made of me, as if it were myself. Oh, really?